Another community is pushing back on misinformation about migrants. Colorado Springs says it's seen about 24 migrant families come to town, and most have since left. But the Colorado Republican Party says that the Springs is dealing with an influx of illegals. Today, Mayor Yemi Mobolade says he is concerned that political misinformation and panic is going to scare off the nonprofit partners who are helping the handful of migrants in the Springs.
And I'm trying to de-escalate our community from the notion that we do have a crisis. My fear is that if we keep the politics going, some of these partners will go dark. They will go underground, and they're the ones I'm actually depending on to communicate with me.
Mayor Mobolade says that the Springs is not centrally coordinating migrant support in the way that Denver is, so they're relying on communication from nonprofit partners like the Salvation Army to tell them how many migrants show up in the Springs. The Salvation Army says it has not seen any new migrants in the Springs since the original 21 families that came and then most left. But the mayor says the actual influx they're dealing with is misinformation and rumor, this idea that Denver's sending hundreds of migrants down to Colorado Springs hotels.
We've chased down every intel that has come our way. However, all this intel are proven to be false. The rumors are there because of fear that has been stirred up in our community. But please understand, I take it all seriously, and there is a cost to the taxpayers. We do not have the system or the resources to keep up with rumors.
If this misinformation playbook sounds familiar, it mirrors what we've reported on in Lakewood, where Republican leaders falsely claimed that Denver was sending thousands of migrants to live in Lakewood's empty school buildings. Despite having absolutely no proof, they still drew a crowd of hundreds of people to a meeting who were angry about what they thought was happening in Lakewood. The Colorado Republican Party is currently holding up Colorado Springs as a model of how cities and towns should reject migrants. And that's because last week, City Council in the Springs passed a largely ceremonial resolution saying the Springs would not spend money to help migrants. This week alone, leaders in Keensburg, Mesa County, and Monument have passed their own resolutions reiterating their quote-unquote non-sanctuary status, pledging not to use government resources for migrant services.